Have you ever stopped to think about the world around you? I mean, really think about it. The desk you're at, the screen you're looking at. What if none of it is as straightforward as it seems? What if the simple question of what it means to exist has been one of the biggest, most intense debates in all of human history? Well, today, we're diving headfirst into the philosophy of what is real.
So let's start with something super simple. Take a look at this. It's a chair, right? Obvious. But what is it really? I know, that question sounds almost silly, but just stick with me here. I mean, what actually truly makes this thing a chair? Is it the four legs and a seat? Because what if I break one of the legs off? Is it still a chair? I guess so, yeah, a broken chair, but still a chair. But what if I just smash it into a pile of wood? Suddenly that chairness is completely gone. So, is it just about the physical stuff it's made of? Is a chair just a particular arrangement of wood and fabric? Or is there, something more going on here?
This is where it starts to get really wild. Is its identity all tied up in the idea of a chair, a concept of chairness that this specific object just happens to represent? And get this, would that idea still exist even if this chair was never even built? Asking these kinds of questions, well, that pulls us right into the heart of our topic. And this brings us to ontology. It's the study of being. It's this grand philosophical quest to understand what exists and what it even means for something to exist in the first place. To put it simply, ontology is the branch of philosophy that digs into the nature of existence. It's trying to find the world's most basic building blocks, kind of like the Lego bricks of reality. And the name totally makes sense if you look at its Greek roots. Ontos means being, and logia means study of. So yeah, it's literally the study of what is.
Okay, so how in the world do philosophers, these ontologists, even start to tackle a question that big? Well, they start by trying to sort reality into its most basic ingredients, almost like they're creating an inventory of everything in the universe.
One of the first and most important ways they split things up is the difference between particulars and universals. Particulars are the specific, one-of-a-kind things in the world. Think of the actual person Socrates or our planet Mars. There's only one of them. Universals, on the other hand, are the general qualities or concepts that can be repeated over and over again in different things, like the color green or a virtue like courage.
And here's a perfect way to picture that. The Taj Mahal is a particular. It's a single, unique building in a specific place. But the color green? That's a universal. That exact same quality can pop up in a leaf, a traffic light, a t-shirt. It's repeatable.
Now, another key distinction is between concrete and abstract objects. Concrete objects are the things that exist in space and time. A tree, a dog, you can interact with them. But abstract objects, they exist outside of space and time. They don't have any physical impact. A classic example here is a number, like the number 7.
You can really see the contrast here. A dog is concrete. It barks, it runs, it takes up space on your floor. The number 7 is abstract. It's a concept. It doesn't have a physical address. You can't trip over it. Now, both exist, for sure, but ontologists argue they exist in fundamentally different ways.
So right about now, you might be thinking, okay, these categories seem pretty simple, but this is precisely where the fight begins. These simple distinctions are the battleground for some of the biggest and oldest debates in all of philosophy.
And at the center of one of these epic debates are these two thinkers, Plato and his student, Aristotle. Their disagreement over how universals, those repeatable things like green or courage, actually exist, set the stage for more than 2,000 years of philosophical arguments.
And man, their disagreement runs deep. Plato believed in what we call Platonic realism. He thought that universals exist in this perfect abstract realm, totally separate from our physical world. For him, the perfect idea of green would exist even if every single green thing in the universe disappeared. But Aristotle, he thought that was nonsense. He argued that universals only exist inside of particular things. Green can't just float around by itself. It has to be the green of an apple or the green of a book.
And the debate definitely didn't stop there. Other views, known as anti-realist views, came along and challenged whether universals exist at all. Conceptualism says that, yeah, universals exist, but only as ideas inside our heads. They're just useful labels we create. And then nominalism goes even further. It says universals have no existence whatsoever. To a nominalist, there is no green. There are just a whole bunch of individual green things.
So why should any of us care about these ancient arguments over ideas and objects? Well, because the super abstract field of philosophy has, fascinatingly, become incredibly practical and important in our modern data-driven world.
Believe it or not, in computer science and information science, ontology is absolutely essential. It provides the rules and categories that let a machine structure information, make sense of data, and understand how different concepts all relate to each other.
This diagram right here, this is a simplified version of what's called a formal ontology, a real-world application of these ideas. Computer scientists use frameworks just like this one to build databases and AI systems. And just look at those categories: physical, abstract, object, process. These are the direct descendants of those ancient philosophical debates, now being used to teach a computer how to organize its own knowledge.
This practical application even has its own name: ontological engineering. It's the process of deliberately building a version of reality for a system. You define your area, let's say a college database. You figure out the core concepts, like student and course. Then you formally define exactly what they are and how they relate. You are, in a very real sense, playing the role of a philosopher to build a functional digital universe.
And this brings us all the way from that simple chair to a final, pretty provocative question. As we build more and more sophisticated artificial intelligence, we're also building their ontologies, their understanding of what is real. So we have to ask ourselves, what kind of reality are we teaching them to see? The categories we choose and the relationships we define, that's not just code. It's the fundamental building blocks of a whole new kind of perception, where what we decide is real becomes real for them.